have that instinct automatically, because remember, some of this stuff is genetic. They either have it or they don't, right? This is what it's all about, people. Attack the boy! He must know that I'm in the dog fight with him. I'm next to him side by side. We have a bond that's unbreakable.
Terry, you can't tell me that intro ain't worth a shit. Come on now.
I was about to say I don't know where you come from. You kind of hip, ain't you?
Yeah. You saw that, right?
Yes, sir.
That's my
Yes,
boy
sir. Good job.
Miles. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Miles Myers. His
Mm-hmm.
Instagram handle is frame, and I don't make this up. His Instagram handle is frame banger. Okay, frame
Right.
banger.
Banger.
Frame
Well,
banger.
I'm gonna have to contact him because he's doing a damn good job.
I know, right? We
Yes, sir.
and we talking, but I'm letting people start to come in.
Yes, sir.
We did a video shoot, an actual episode, in Colorado for the Cane Corso confirmation show, which is
Okay.
AKC sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday we did another episode with my guy Michael. The name of his Instagram page is Rambo Retro, and he's got
Okay.
not 2, not 3, not 4. He's got 5 male intact grown Rotties living
Oh,
in harmony in the
yeah.
house.
I seen that. I seen that. I was
You
kind of
know,
curious as to how he did that.
hey man, he laid the boogeyman down at a very early age on all of them. Well, two of them he
Mm-hmm.
got as pups, but
Okay. Okay.
like brothers. I mean, they're gonna fight a little bit, or argue,
Right.
but there's never
Right.
no. It's not even superficial marks. You know what I'm saying? It's like get out of here,
Right.
shit like that.
Exactly. Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know?
Yeah. When I seen it, I was just it was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Um, Simply because of the males that I deal with. Um, if you understand what I mean. And it's
Yeah.
no disrespect for those people who do it. Um, but I deal with alpha males,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yes, you have to have some control, but you actually really don't want to take, in my opinion, for what I want.
Yeah.
As the Rottweiler can do many things when it comes to protection and guarding. I like for my male to be a strong male. I want him to have natural instincts to be that,
Yeah.
the alpha dog, and to be able to express himself. When he's around another alpha male, that's, in my opinion, that's a lot to ask both of them. You're putting them in a position to where I think you're tapping them out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Mike Tyson, when he was in the ring with Evander Holyfield, right? He was in there with another alpha male, right? And you've seen his reaction when he realized that he was in there with another alpha male and couldn't do
Yeah.
nothing with him. Um,
After that second and third round, I was like, wait a minute, this motherfucker still here. I mean,
exactly,
because Mike he's only good for like 2, 3, 4 rounds max, and then when
exactly,
you talking about 9, 10 rounds, he's like, wow, he's still here.
exactly, and he's
And-
still hitting that hard.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
start and as a novice boxer,
Hmm.
um, I started seeing in Mike's eyes for the first time, like
Fear.
he's in fear.
Yes. Yes.
I saw
Yes.
it.
Yes. And me coming from the bulldoggy,
Yeah,
um, as which is a totally different world, and I'm not talking about what you're seeing today. Some of the stuff is still alive today, but
yeah,
I didn't bring that over. What I brought over was the temperament and the character, right? And I wanted to make sure that that's always kept intact. Um, when I first got my first dogs, my first female, um, she was a Santo daughter. She was a strong female in body type and in temperament, but her
Mm-hmm.
character was wonderful because I went off to college and left her with my mom. My mom
Mm-hmm.
said she, protect the house, she protect her, was good with my sisters and things like that. But I met one of my mentors in California, Eckhart Selquist,
Yeah.
and of Genix Rottweilers, and I learned a lot from
Jen
him.
Jennings Wooton. You ever heard of Jennings Wooton?
I
Dude.
seen him in person.
Wow.
I don't know how many times. I've been on Eckhart's property and the dog standing right there. Um, he produced some phenomenal dogs um, through inbreeding, line breeding, tight line breeding on dogs that I call the trunk of reproduction in certain lines.
Mm-hmm.
Eve's Eulenspiegel, Dingo von Swaggerwappen, which is an Eve's son. And he line bred on those dogs, Hassan and them, and they went back to Eve's. But yeah, um, he was probably during my time in the 90s here and in Germany, one of the most influential breeders
Mm-hmm.
um, that I can say even today. Um, his dogs look different than everybody else, and I've seen a lot of dogs, Mercure von Barlin, Gustav, uh, even when the Donjo was brought over here. Um, I seen a lot of dogs, and they were famous German dogs, but they didn't look like eugenic stuff.
Right.
I'm not saying that unfortunately. I'm saying hats off to Eckhart um, because he was respected in Germany,
Mm-hmm.
respected big time. Um, but back then, we had conversations. The judges would speak, the breeders would speak, the buyers would speak, and if some of them, like Eckhart, were firm, um, you just didn't walk in and get into those conversations. I've been at Eckhart's house and seen the working class on an 8 millimeter film. And
Mm-hmm.
in that film, I seen Nero, Hassan, uh, Falco, you just name it, right? And so to be in those positions, I believe I was blessed. Uh, I've been to Zivers, Meissner, Swaggerwappen. I've been to quite a few kennels. I even went to the Isblas kennel when the Rottweiler started getting hot here.
So let me ask you
And
this.
mhm.
Because we're gonna get deep here.
Yes, sir.
I saw you on a show, NWA Connie Corso, Joe,
Right, sir.
and you had just came in and you said, I got to come in because it's too much misinformation going on. Shit, I got to chime in. So you chimed in on your porch. You was like, I'm coming in, and what you was saying and the information you was giving the viewers, it's almost like you're telling us something we never heard before, or that we kind of knew but nobody spoke on it. Not saying it was a secret, but sometimes, like when I was a cop many years ago, my training officer said, Gerald, you're seeing but you ain't looking. And this is when we profile drivers. We all profile drivers, right? He said, you're
Yes, sir.
seeing but you ain't looking. I was like, what the fuck do you mean by that? He was a white guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He said, you're gonna be up in traffic court for damn near hours, contesting, backing up your tickets that you wrote for people who are saying that they didn't deserve one for like 5 and 10 miles over. And I said, no, 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 no. When you
Yes,
make
sir.
traffic stops, you make the ones that lead to bigger shit, right? So
Yes,
he
sir.
taught me how to profile. Like, you 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 look at two guys pass by you and they turn around and they start looking, or a car smoking while it's
Shame on you,
driving.
man.
Well, I'm
Shame
just
on you, man.
listen, listen. And if a car smoking, that's a penal code violation. Car smoking,
Mm.
or
Yes,
when
sir.
we change lanes improperly, but that the guy's dirty, but you got to stop him for a legitimate law violation, which improper lane change the lanes without signaling. Listen, the penal code book is about this thick for almost every state. That
Mm.
book is designed for the police to fuck with people in a legal way,
Yeah.
right? So when you was talking, you actually gave me game on the breed that I am still new to. I'm a Dobie guy. You put another Dobie person online, we can go pound for pound on a PhD level. But when they're
Yes,
talking
sir.
about Rotties, I'm still
Yes,
high
sir.
school, right? So my
Yes, sir.
question is, I need to let the people know who you are. So Terry, tell us who you are, your kennel, where you're from, and how did you get into the Rottweiler of all the breeds? Jesus Christ,
Yes, sir.
Rottweiler.
Yes, sir. Um, like I said, I'm from Memphis, Texas, not Memphis, Tennessee. My town don't exist anymore. Um, I come from an environment where we hunted with dogs, a variety of dogs. My dad's choice of breed was always the German Shepherd.
Hmm.
In fact, even though I know the genetics was wrong for him, he always wanted a white German Shepherd, and I got him one before he died and stuff. So I've always been around the breed, but I'm from the country. I did not know nothing about a damn show dog. I'm being honest,
Yeah,
in the country, you have sheep, goats, cattle, even horses, that were show, right?
yeah.
And so my first experience with the Rottweiler wasn't on in the movie Omen. It was actually in that town. And I asked people, what was that? What's that big
You
old
talking about
dog
the movie?
right there?
Ha ha, Damien. Ha ha.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I got the
That
right
wasn't my
one.
first. Yeah, and he was a great dog. Uh, an elderly lady had him. She was about 68. He was very obedient, but very serious dog. And I always remember the dog's statue, how he carried himself, right? And so I decided when I got older, I was going to get a Rottweiler. I used to always tell my friends too. So my family moved here. I even had a border collie. I didn't even know that's what it was. But boy, could she herd some sheep, right?
Hmm.
Because like I said, I was on the farm. And then when I got 17 in high school, I started looking for a Rottweiler. And when I would go, back then, like I said, and I've told people, the only place that I knew to find them is at a pet store, and it was called Dog World Magazine. And it had different articles on different dogs. But I would always go rush when my mom would go to the mall or go by a pet store while she was over there doing laundry or something. I'd go in there and I go to the back of the book. And in the back of the book, when I think about it and I look back, that's where the protection dogs were at.
Hmm.
The German Shepherds, the Doberman Pinschers, the Rottweilers. The Barbel wasn't here at that time. Um, Kennels like Von Eveman, Rottweilers was in there. Old World Kennels, John Bernard, Kimbertall Rottweilers, who's my
To my
you remember?
Bob. I know Bob.
No,
Rest
Bob
in.
Bellinisi, Bob Bellinisi. Or are you talking about the old Kimbertall that had the Dobermans too?
He had Dobermans, Rotties, and this motherfucker was breeding wolves.
Exactly, exactly. That
Yeah,
Bob, right?
yeah, that
Do you
Bob.
remember? You remember his mantra for the
Mm-mm.
Rottweiler? If
No.
it's not, if it's anything under 27 inches tall, you can bring it back, and
Oh
we'll give you
yeah,
another
but
one.
he was known for like his thing was oversized dogs all across the
Exactly,
board.
exactly. There was Bob Bellinisi, von Rumen Rottweilers, um, and of course, I didn't see Eckhart at the time. I didn't see Eckhart until I went to college. I also you found dogs in the newspaper,
Yeah.
and I got enough knowledge to know that they're from Germany, right? So as I'm looking through the newspaper, I see this ad. It says 100% ADRK bred German and multi V1, Schützen 3, all this stuff. I said, this has got to be the ticket. His name was actually Warren Cooper. And I went to his house, and I'm sorry I've gotten his name wrong. Rest in peace, brother, a couple of times. But I was in that man's house before I could see a dog. I could hear him for almost 2 weeks.
Hmm.
He sat me down. We went over the structure. He stressed character and temperament. At a time, I didn't know exactly it was two different things. Um, then finally, I got a chance to see him, and Willie Heckey was the guy that they had bring him over, and he evaluated the litter, and I happened to be there, and I got a female. It was at a Santo von Swagger Whopping, and the mother to my dog was a Condor Zuklam daughter. Um, to this day, besides a few lines like Eckhart's line, Genix, I haven't seen a female with that much bone. I mean, bone like your forearm.
Mm-hmm.
She was stout, beautiful mahogany markings. Um, Not so much as a snipey head. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about what we call the correct head tapering off. I'm talking about um, when we see the almost Doberman type head. She wasn't that. She had a strong muzzle. But I love the most about her, I could take her anywhere. And she was very intelligent about strangers. Didn't like strangers, right? But at the house, family could come by and things of that nature. As I moved forward, I was in college and I seen some guys doing some protection work, which was right up my alley. And I went over and there was Eckhart. And he always preached it, all Rottweilers aren't the same. And so while I was going through college, yeah, it ain't the same, they ain't the same, the same. From there, I broke my knee in college and I went back to Colorado and I got married and we moved to Oklahoma. In the back of my head, I could hear him say they are not the same, and they're not. Trust me, they're not. Um, they should be, but they're not. It's because of the way people are breeding and some other factors that come along with that. But um, I bought a dog at a Cannon River oil tanker. He was one of the top dogs at that time, so I thought I had the shit. I'm like, yeah, yeah, you know. Um, when I got him though, he didn't look nothing, and nor did he grow up to look like Tanker, right? Spooky.
Oh, he
Um,
had to. He had to go. He had to go.
hey, he left, right?
Yeah, he had to go.
Call Eckhart. Did not tell you. So I tried it again. I got a male out of Nelson Von Het Wrapping Park. He looked the type. He had he was winning. I said, oh yeah, number one dog in the country. I gotta have it. After I got him, I thought, wow, this is jacked up. He ain't got no bone. But
Hmm.
everybody I would go to in confirmation class would just be like goo goo gaga and after him, right?
Right.
And so that's how I met and got my first foot wet with handling. People said when I got you got to go to confirmation classes. So there was a couple named Jerry and Bonnie Kilman,
Hmm.
and Jerry and Bonnie Kilman bred and showed Australian shepherds, the real ones, the real stocky old school ones, just like the old stocky Labradors, right? And I started asking questions, and they invited me over to their home. And they would always tell me, I don't know what it is, but all the dogs like you. I didn't, I just been around dogs. I didn't know what the hell they was talking about. And I would go over there and I would practice and I would see things. And I'm telling you, at that time I worked for Waste Management. So when I would get off work at 4:30, I pick up my wife, my kids, and we go out to their house.
And what year was
So
this?
1991.
Oh wow, I was still in college.
Yep, 1991. Yep. And at that time, Perry Payson, who's a well-known handler now, I didn't know that's what he was doing, but he was coming up underneath a lady by the name of Sherry Page, and then he later went over to Diane Lane. Um, Clinton Holly were very young at that time. Clint Livingston and Holly Eldridge, his brother. So we were all youngsters, but I didn't even know what they know. I didn't go through the junior handling, all that stuff. Um, I just kept going to their house, and I'd get there like about 5 o'clock, and sometimes they'd let me sleep. They let us sleep there, and I'd wake up, take a shower, and go to work. From there, my wife would go home. And one time we came up to Colorado to
Hmm.
to a sanctioning match for the Mile High Rottweiler Club, and I seen this male. His name was Krugeran, owned by Joanne Cochran, and
Not
I
Johnny
was
Cochran, but Joanne Cochran.
yes, yes, you clown.
Mhm.
And I was amazed by the dog. Of course, they had Doc Tails at that time. He was a I loved his temperament when some people were afraid of him. Um, Said he was, strong dog and everything. And all the way home with them, I said, "That's what I'm talking about. That's what I seen when I went to Germany." Da, 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 da. From there, one weekend was going to be my first weekend at the show, and I was showing my mail, and I winded up taking a 4-point major and didn't even know what the hell that was. But I knew I won. Ron Buxton was in the
I
ring
know
at
what a
that.
4-point major is. A 4-point major is a person that's a major in the military and he has a 4-point star on his chest.
No, no, okay. I'll explain that real quick. In the old days, they didn't have grand champions and stuff like they do today. You had to hit 15 points. You needed two majors. The majors come based on how many dogs are in the and male dogs are participating and how many females. And
Right.
back then, 4 and 5 point majors, you had to have about 32, 40 dogs, depending on where you were at
Hmm.
to get the major. And they come in one, two. Those are single points or 2 points. So they come in 3-point majors, 4-point majors, and 5-point majors. There's various ways you can get it, but you have to get 15 points to get the championship. And so I had gotten that, and I came out. I took off my time, about to go back. I'm about to
Yeah.
get on up out of here, right? And they said, "Oh no, can you do me a favor? Can you take my Australian Shepherd?" What? I don't know how to show that thing. I don't know anything about that. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know about that. And it's like, you'll do just fine.
Hmm.
And I went in, I won the breed, and I took a group 3, right? Um, which they was all in the hoop ride, but I didn't even know what the hell I had done. And when I say I'm being honest with
So,
all outdoor.
so let me
Yeah.
ask you this. So, I, when I did this, and it all come first. I mean, I have so many questions, and we ain't got a whole bunch of
Hmm.
time. I don't want to put people to sleep over here, but we can
Uh-huh.
talk for hours.
Hmm.
Up until 2 weeks ago, I was all about protection sports, obedience sports, and breed tests. The ZTP. You know, and I
Yes,
said
sir.
that I think the ZTP title really reigns more than IGP now, only because it's a breed standard test, and they got to show the
Yes, sir.
temperament and the stability and the height and the
Yes,
head
sir.
to nose ratio and all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
I say that because up until 2 weeks ago, when I went to the Cornish Cortisol show,
Hmm.
I was not into confirmation. It totally blew my mind how serious these people were. I
Oh
mean,
man.
these people
Oh
hated
man.
each other guts, but they was very respectful with each other because
Oh
they're
man.
all competing against each other.
Hmm.
And it is lights out, man. And they wearing this like they going to church, and they got the shoes to run around the
Go
ring.
ahead and say it, man. Rich folks with rich etiquette.
Yeah, and listen,
Yeah.
when the dogs are on the side getting ready to do it again, they got a team of people on this dog. It's almost like changing wheels on when you go to NASCAR.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's like
sir. Yes, sir.
shit.
Yes, sir.
Like this is
Yeah.
wow. So now I have a
Right.
huge respect, but I always had respect for that. But
Mhm.
now I'm intrigued to see what I can do on that level, entry level,
Mhm.
whatever. But so I'm in the
Mhm.
process now. I've reached out to a couple of professional handlers, some of which have been to the Westminster.
Yes, I have to.
Right. So I need somebody here. And I'm gonna do an episode on how to get a dog to stack properly and if a dog is even designed based on his conformation, his the genes are gonna play a major role in this if he got the nice straight back or not. But I want
Yes,
to
sir.
get to this. You've titled dogs in your life on a BH, the ZTP, that's to me that's working, and you've done a lot of conformation shows. And you've seen the breed evolve. Like I would say this, When I look at the old school Rottie pictures 20,
Mhm.
30 years ago, the Genix Woutons of the world,
Mhm.
I noticed that the old school German Rotties
Mhm.
look like American Rotties, and now the European Rotties look European. And I'll say that like the muzzle's a little bit shorter, the
Mhm.
head is still big, but the markings are darker. So my question is to you is what changed? Was it particular dogs? I know there's particular dogs that have changed the look, the jaw look called timid tor,
Yes, sir.
right? And that's become a
Yes, sir.
popular look. But
Yes,
I
sir.
haven't seen those dogs in protection sports because of their bite. They can't bite that good.
You know, even that's crazy because the boxer's supposed to have an undershot bite and he does protection work.
Yeah. So
The
what dogs
problem,
do you think changed the game as far as getting
what
them?
I think what happened is there was a time in era where the Germans actually wanted to compete more on a world level with the shepherds, and the sport of schützen was designed for the shepherd, not the
Yeah,
Rottweiler,
exactly.
not the Doberman. The Germans use it as documentation because it touches all three areas. It touches tracking, obedience, and controlled protection. And when those things are documented and those scores are documented, um, then you have the Coron, which means the dog is producing dogs of similar qualities. And then there's a lifetime Coron where the dog has Schützen 3,
Yeah.
IPO 3, FH2, AD. Even now today, I'm disappointed because I don't see many dogs doing the AD anymore. And what I believe has changed it is every single area of the breed has been monetized. Every Everybody's a trainer, experienced trainer. Everybody's jumping into the breed because they realized the breed at the time when it started to get popular as a couch potato and not a protection working guardian dog.
Right.
Um, uh, I believe I was around when Bill Jack was the first raw dog food. I watched the pet dog industry because of not just the Rottweilers, but the all the breeds in a whole were focused on conformation and show, not actually what the dog was bred for. It made people water down temperament, change structure because they're looking at the dog from a 180 instead of a 360 and never remembering the standard. And the standard is a description. There's a description. People ask me, well, what's your breed type? The description: medium, large, compact, robust built male. That's the start. That's at the beginning before they go into the head, length of the nose. It gives you a description of what this dog is supposed to look like. Um, Within the standard, what also happens is that there are correct and ideal portions of the standard, not just in structure, but in temperament and character too. So all those things, I hear people talk about structure, but they're forgetting about the brain as part of the structure
Hmm.
because the Rottweiler is supposed to have a specific character and temperament. If you're not breeding for that, I feel like you're not breeding for the correct ideal portion of the standard.
So let me ask you this then.
Hmm.
A real responsible breeder
Hmm.
has to do things that the masses who are layman's to breeding do. Case in point, if you're trying to um, promote a correction, it's a better word, if you're trying to perpetuate an intangible, which is temperament, character. You can't touch it. It's got to be, dogs are born with it. You can't touch temperament.
Hmm.
You got to believe in it. It's an internal thing.
Yes, sir.
Or if a breeder is breeding for the intangible and the tangible aspect, the head, the markings, the dirty paws, look, or whatever, the dark almond eyes, the dark gums,
Hmm.
there has to be a level of inbreeding and
Oh,
or line breeding. Can you explain to me? I know, but here in America, I'm telling you, when you start talking about, they trip on inbreeding, but they trip on line breeding, but
hmm
they really flip the fuck out when they talking about inbreeding, and they don't understand the differences. But
hmm
they don't know that AKC specific guidelines allow inbreeding and line breeding, and it's approved. It's registrable. Can you
yes.
explain the difference between the two so people can understand the difference between line breeding and inbreeding?
So that let's start off with this. I believe the person that doesn't believe in it don't resource correctly nor study correctly. Um, there's no disrespect to the way they go about things because there are three types of breedings. There's phenotype, there's genotype, and what I like to call for myself, and what I do, pheno and genotype throughout the pedigree. So therefore, you got dogs who look alike, who come from the same bloodline, come from the same trunk. Um, Line breeding, some of the most famous dogs that are in these people's pedigrees that are breeding today all over the world, they don't even see it. They don't even see it. Um, for example, Norseman Gruntenblick, um, outstanding all-around dog. Klub Seeger. The people don't see Face and Falco. They're litter mates, full litter mates. Do you understand what I'm saying?
From the
Matter of
same
fact,
litter or just from the same
from the
parent?
same litter,
Okay.
mothers as Bea. Bea is an Eves von Eulenspiegel daughter. See the line breeding?
Hmm.
We can talk about Gringo. Gringo is what they would call half inbreeding, half siblings, right? Out of Ike. Same process. Aquino von Lellebrücke, face to face. Same process. Um, they just don't dig deep enough. I've seen them, as I explained on another podcast, and the same generation, the same third generation, you'll have a male who's there two times. They'll miss the fact that the litter mate sister's on the bottom. They'll miss that. There, people are stopping, and I get it. You see two dogs and they look alike. That's phenotype. But I don't even think they're going deep enough for me in that. Meaning, if those two dogs look alike and they look good, have the similar structure, what about their siblings? Do they look like that? Are they built like that? Is their temperament like that? And then I'll go even one step further. I go back further. Do their grandparents, there's four, right?
Hmm.
Male, female, there's four. Do they have that structure? Do they have that character and temper? Do their siblings have that?
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of work. And that's why I said I'm fortunate to have started where I was. There was no social media. You went from book, you had like 20 books sitting out from 20 different breeders that wrote in them. They had dogs that go back. I seen a conversation about Catherine Thompson's book. And it was just funny because I had just did another podcast talking about inbreeding. And she talks about how she started, and it's in the second chapter, third line, third paragraph, fourth line. She talks about a brother to a sister. and
Same
how it
litter
create
but same parents,
same litter,
but
same
same
parents,
litter.
same litter,
Okay.
and how it came forward to create these next dogs, the next generation. Um, I hear a lot of people talk about it. My one of my other mentors is an older guy. He uses marbles. So you got a bag of marbles, and let's just say there's 1,000 marbles in there, and they're all red. If you keep adding a different color marble, right? Sooner or later, if you keep adding a marble, the red, the white can either be half of the red, or it can be 3/4 of the what started off as all red, or it can become all of it. And I don't believe in outcrosses only because when you go outside of bloodlines, right? Different types of bloodlines. I believe there is a time and place for a person who's line breeding and inbreeding to outcross. But I still think that you should go with the same phenotype.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should be building for consistency across the board in a litter. Most people are breeding for a dog,
Right.
a bitch. Oh, I'm gonna do this breeding because the female, I just know a female is gonna be so nice at it. Well, what about the other females and what about the other males, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody else has got to do their job with those dogs, right? I believe that line breeding and inbreeding help you get consistent litters, um, not just in look, but in character and temperament too.
So that leads me into another question then. The topic that I've been seeing about a lot of Rotties nowadays. And we Americans, we visual. We like to look first before we know what's really going on the inside.
Mhm.
The timid tour. I was told that he was a great breeder at one particular time. Had some of the best. I don't like I say, I'm new to this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be true to this. But that look now is popping up everywhere. What is the advantages and disadvantages of that look? And I'm going to show people what I'm talking about. But go ahead, let you talk.
Um, I know Darko from way back. Matter of fact, we tried to buy a dog that he had by the name of Monaco, and we backed out because of some other reasons and stuff. But he had German dogs, and then there was a time when Adobe Photoshop started to come into play, and it's truthful what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
um, because people went to the Club Seeger, and I remember saying, I don't understand why the hell he was Adobe for what? Serena is beautiful.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Um, Incomes, and this is what we're going to touch on for his line breeding because that's where he got it from. That's why his dogs are the way that they look. Line breeding tightly once he got the breed type that he wanted, and inbreeding, and then adding dogs that he knew would give exaggerated features. Okay. What do I
Mm-hmm.
mean by that? Okay. Doctor himself wasn't created on his own. He he would add, and let's just say he got a bitch that was compact, very good bones, um, and a strong, dominant head, strong blocking muzzle. He looked for males
Mm-hmm.
with those same things and even produced that same thing.
Right.
Then he added a dog by the name of Rick Darrell, which is a hero of one of Tom Berger's son. Those lines come from Mambo, which is a German dog, a famous German dog, a lifetime
Mambo.
Coron. Mambo von der Krosner Ranch. Mike Lesbach is a hell of a breeder. He just like just like Darko, because to be able to take the time to study, research the dogs that you're about to breed to get and emphasize on certain parts. Like, I'm not going to breed to that dog, but I know this dog already is on the verge of the stop. I know that his ancestors do that. I know that
Hmm.
his siblings have that. And he just kept stacking that genetic and making it a dominant gene. The shorter muzzle, as opposed to culling. And I'm not talking about culling, putting it in a bucket like back in the day. I'm talking about pet, right?
Right.
Even some of those pets was being sold here because they have a wow factor. Wow factor sells. Something different sells. Um, a lot of his dogs, I'll be honest with you, you strip the skin, you strip the head, which you can't do that. But just imagine when you take that all off, he has the correct fronts, just
Right.
weak pasterns, four chest, nice big large rhino asses, strong bones. But there can be too much, and they're too much. They're not correct. They shouldn't be that big. I'm sorry,
Right.
man. They should.
So that leads me to another question, because everybody has an ideal type of dog when it comes to the specific breed Rottweiler. When you are picking, and first of all, we know, you know more than you know, definitely know more than I do on this. When you're picking a puppy,
Mhm,
a male pup,
mhm.
and then we can talk about the female pup. When you're picking a puppy, what are you looking for? So you know what, nothing's guaranteed, but for right now, what I see, that's one of them ones. I want that one. What are you looking for?
Well, just real quickly, when I've been out of the breed for about 8 years, so when I came back in, I was looking for a foundation. So there were specific lines I was looking for. I was looking for first temperament, first the foundation things of der Rottweiler. What are the foundation things of der Rottweiler? Dark eye, dark mark, dark mouth, lips, gums, large, heavy ears, compact body, strong paws. That's why I call these things the foundation of the Rottweiler, because it's a working dog. You can't have weak feet and work. For the type of job that they were supposed to do, you can't have little spinally bone, right?
Yeah.
So I started looking for character and temperament, which led me to my bitch, which is 3 times Gringo, because I understand what Gringo brings to the table for his temperament, let alone his son Otzi. So that was very, very important to me. Um, from there, if I went to go look at the litter, but I didn't look at the litter, I called the guy based on the pedigree, and he asked me what I wanted. I said, I don't care. I just want the blood.
You sound like a vampire.
But yes, I was dead serious. I want the blood because I know that the blood will give me the foundation things of the Rottweiler. I can work with the rest. I can work with the coat. I can work with the top line.
You want that
I can't
bloodline. You want that DNA.
the DNA. So when I go to see the litter, if I go see that litter, I'm basing it on the pedigree. I'm not looking for something special. I'm looking for the pedigree in the
Right.
puppies.
Right.
If I go there, let's just say, for example, I go there and I'm looking for straight fronts, no four chests. Why am I going there and I'm looking at dogs that have four chests?
Hmm.
So I'm going expecting what the pedigree is. There was, I believe, you you pick pedigree, you go get puppy, you build puppy in that order. I'm not looking at, yes, of course, I see the pictures and stuff, then I go look at the pedigree and to see what's going on. But I believe the pedigree is what the dog is. I believe the pedigree is what the dog should be. I believe there's some
So
dogs that
so
are out of,
you're not caring about character at all.
yeah, character and temperament. That's my number
Okay.
one goal.
Okay. But as
Yeah.
far as looks, you're not really tripping as long as it's from that pedigree you're looking for, because you can get that DNA and make your own dog as long as you have the foundation, right?
There you go. There
Okay.
you go. Because it's a building process anyway with breeding. You're not going to get everything in one breeding. You're even going to lose some things that you got to get back in the breeding. That's where inbreeding, I mean, that's where line breeding comes in.
Well, that's true then. Let's talk about it. So some of the best dogs, I've had some of the best Dobermans west of the Mississippi. I'll be honest with you,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
they've came from kennels that nobody heard them. And usually the best dogs, I put it like this: I eat soul food when I'm supposed to, when I can, right? Most really good soul food spots, and you know this too, are
Yes, sir.
fucking shithole places. But the
Yeah.
line is around the corner to get that
Hmm.
styrofoam plate of food, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So the best breeders I know
Hmm.
in Eastern Europe, or
Hmm.
even the breeders here in the United States, for the few that I know, they
Hmm.
don't breed as often. But when they do, that list is long as shit, and you got to be somebody special
Yes, sir.
to get in
Yes, sir.
front, right?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
so
sir.
my question is, because particular bloodlines do die if you don't prepare for the inevitable. Like you're not freezing semen. You're not co-owning a dog from a particular litter that you want to keep. So you're not doing none of that,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And you're
Hmm.
like me. You're like when my boy Brody and Alonzo passed. Oh, they're gonna live forever. Or I'll just get another male off of that one.
Right.
Not knowing that the only way to duplicate the dog you had is to get the fucking dog actually duplicated, and that's $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, right?
Yes. Yes. Right.
So my question is to you: are you still importing?
Um, right now, no.
Okay,
Will I? Don't need to when you build your foundation of females.
so you
Because
got your
now
foundation, but I'm
I'm
gonna
almost
argue with you.
there. No, no, I'm almost there.
Okay,
I'm almost there. But not quite. Um, I'm gonna breed to a really nice dog in Germany with Asia. He's very well known. He's
so
a
they're gonna
great
ship
dog.
you sperm over.
I'm going.
Oh, you going there? You're gonna take your female there
Yes, sir.
to do a live breeding?
Yes, sir.
Oh shit, man, you on another level with this one.
But you know what? A lot of people are doing it.
Yeah,
But this particular dog, I felt like was a matter of fact. I just said it's going to be Asia, who's a Nazi son. I'm gonna breed to Hummer, Anna's dog. Why am I breeding to her? Well, some of the lines it mixes together, right? So I'm going to be still doing a line breeding, but the dog produces what she needs.
yeah.
There's some Klub Seegers there. There's some Europa Seegers there. There is some Bundesligas there. There's some top, top working dogs who have correct structure.
Some
But for
real
what,
dogs, some real,
yeah,
real, yeah.
yeah. And it's not that he hasn't done any winning. It's the fact that what I believe she needs, he consistently gives. I
Mhm.
I do believe that there is a such thing, and I've seen some what they call pre-potent males, where whatever he is, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter if you breed him to a fox, right? He's going to give it to you. That's rare. That's very rare. Most dogs throw things, bone, character, temperament, bone, stronger temperament, bone with some dogs, some lines, some, and I used him other week. Um, Vitus is a very nice producing dog. Hats
So let
off
me
to Ollie.
so let me ask you
Yeah.
this:
Mhm.
you going over there this year to breed your dog?
When she comes in, yes, sir.
Okay, so now AKC, they're making rules all the time now.
Yes.
So they changed the rules almost like less than 60 days ago. So this is what the rule is now.
Mm-hmm.
Because a couple of my friends are caught up in that where now they got to backpedal, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they got to get
Mm-hmm.
some stuff done. If you breed to a male that's out of the country,
Mm-hmm.
you have to get a DNA test kit from AKC and get the DNA swab and do the swabbing of that particular dog over there. There's no more, we need a stud certificate or a letter from the owner of the stud and we'll register your litter. They want and the kit has to be the AKC kit. They're not using kits from nobody else. Were you familiar with
Right.
that?
Yeah, it's not something that just started either. It's
Really?
been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. Matter of fact, I'm part of the DNA process with AKC. Serbia was sending over fraudulent dogs. They wasn't who they
That's what
were.
I'm telling you. That's what fucked it up.
Yeah, and so a guy that I was working for, he got some dogs from them, along with a couple other people from different various kennels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told him one day, I said, "Hey man, that's not the dog." He said, "What do you mean?" Don't I said, "Don't you see that dog's got muddy markings coming down? Rocky's got clear markings.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you see this? Don't you see that?" He questioned the guy, and then he did it again. Um, he was a little bit hot-headed Cuban.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did, he just copied the whole website, and it was Rottweiler Bomber. He
Mm.
copied the whole website, man, and
Damn.
he put in there the two different pictures, right? And he was doing the response. And during that time frame, there was a guy in New York City had got a bitch from the people over there. The bitch became an AKC champion. The people that bought him, because that brings other people who want to show the dog. He winded up. Those people winded up testing the dog, and the dog wasn't who they were. That guy wound up getting sued, so it turned into a big thing, and they started doing the DNA. Troll's
No,
DNA is
but
on
I thought
file here, my German mail.
well, I thought it changed a little bit different now. Like I know that because I import all my males, for the
Hmm.
most part, because it's really hard to find a good breeder out here. They got some good stuff
Hmm.
and know what they breeding and why they breed and how they breeding.
Yes, sir.
Most dopey people are breeding for the look. It's more to it than that
Wow.
for me. Yeah, man.
Yes,
It's
sir.
just
Yes, sir.
that's another show. But no, initially you always have to DNA the dogs you ship over here for them to get AKC registered. Oh well, correction.
You just
They don't have to be AKC. They don't have to be DNA tested to be AKC registered, but they have to be DNA tested to be able to have registrable litters.
yeah, yeah. As
They're
and
doing
in
that to the
fact,
sire now, though. Like the sire, if the sire
I
is still over there, they
listen.
want the
They
kit.
doing it. They doing it to the female too. I just bred my German
Yeah,
female, and I was shocked.
yeah,
I was shocked. I was like, "When did you change that?" Oh, just recently, because it used to be from the male. So
yeah,
what people do is like Anna's got the DNA already here, right? And so even if she didn't have it here, we would get the swab from AKC. We would
yeah.
send it over, and then she would send it back. And that's what they're doing with it. Even if I had to do that when I went over, I'm still doing it. It's not, it's
So I got
small
yeah.
in the mix.
It's a small inconvenience, but it can be
Yeah.
done if you communicate with your breeder. Somebody
Yes,
has a
sir.
question here. Pimp 17. Pimp 17 said, Mr. Cornish, are Rottweilers natural guard dogs, or do they need specific bloodlines for those instincts to kick in? I'll let you answer that, and I have an answer for that. Because to me, mine's opinion, right?
In my opinion, when back in the day, they'd have been natural
Yeah,
based on breeding and the way that they breed. Um, in Germany, still, um, but here, no. Should they have it? Yes, because genetics plays a big factor, and temperament and character is part of that, not just bone structure. The heart is part of that,
yeah.
not just the way the rear angulation is. Here, the reason that you don't see it more often is because we're just breeding for winners. Winners are allowed to, you can stick your whole body in the dog's mouth, and he's supposed to be okay with that.
No,
Um,
my boy's not, and
mine isn't either.
yeah, and that's why he didn't he didn't do well at
Yeah,
this confirmation show that we put the one in.
yeah,
We put him
yeah.
in one confirmation. I I got one Rottie. And I've sent you videos and photos and pedigree.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Yes,
he's
sir.
not the best. I mean, listen, he's the best Rottie for me because
Mm-hmm.
to answer that question, that person right there, Brutus, I didn't have to do any table work. I didn't have to flank him. I mean, he's got a BH and been working on IGP, but that shit was instinct, man. He was firing up on people like that at the crib, and he meant it. It was not like it wasn't out of fear. It was like, yo, I want to get at you, and he's civil as shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And
know,
see, and I agree with that, brother. I do, Gerald.
yeah,
I can show people. It's wow. It's kind of crazy too because I could tell John Bernard come over. I could tell some real people that know come over, and then I bring over some show people. I'll just give you an example. I was dismissed out of the ARC National Specialty. I told you Trolls and Alpha Dog. What people didn't know is I had the whole thing videotaped, all of it.
mm-hmm.
Okay. From the time we came in, when he was up top, he was rolling on his belly, chasing balls around people, the whole nine. From the time I walked into the ring, other dogs was in the ring, everything. Um, his examination was cool. He did not like the fact that he felt like he was being challenged when the judge got right up in his eyes. Um, Now, when we begin to, now he's from Germany, this judge was, right? He just said, relax, relax, relax. Now, when we started the gate, we were fine running. But when you start running up his butt and he's
Yeah, grabbing those
perceiving,
balls, man.
I'm trying to tell you. And so
It's over.
what was interesting is I had a few people say, oh, his temperament is horrible. I have the videotape where I'm standing next to the judge and the president of the club standing right there when he's discussing with us what's going on and why he dismissed me. People ran out and thought I was going to beat the hell out of Troll. No, I didn't. Good boy. Let's go.
That's exactly what it's supposed to be.
Went outside.
Yeah.
Listen, and there was some deer, right? I let him get all funky with the deer, and we played and rolled on the ground and kept up on our business because that's what he's supposed to do.
Right.
I
Here's
mean, can
another.
I run up and grab your nuts?
No.
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 And you're probably gonna turn around if I'm a dog. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, that dude that had the dog is lucky. From me,
Mm-hmm.
you a stupid motherfucker if you running your dog up another person's ass.
Yep.
Period. That's not even no respect. I don't care where you lay in the pack order of handlers. I don't care what your name is. You trying to show something, and most of the time it's incorrect. The dog is a medium. The dog is a free floating trotter. He's
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to be running around the ring like the German Shepherds are today. And that's another subject we'll get into for his handling, because some of these cats is very disrespectful. You know that? So he's lucky that my dog don't get in his dog's ass and I get in his ass
Yeah.
because they know what they're doing,
Right.
Gerald.
Here's
I'm
another
telling you.
question. Activated Dobermans has a question. Let me read it. So, what if you have a good dog in front of you? How the dog the dog has a personality, has a temperament, but doesn't have the colorful pedigree. What do you think about that? Would you still think that dog's acceptable? He has the look, he has the personality, but he doesn't have the pedigree that you are used to. And my pedigrees, my dog's got to have some work shit on both sides. Don't have to be stacked with level 3s and 4s or whatever the hell. But I want some good confirmation shows. So the question is, I think activated Doberman actually, if you got a dog that has all of the intangibles and the tangibles, but the pedigree is dog shit, will you consider that a good dog for you?
If I'm judging, which I've judged, on that day, and there's no pedigree involved, the dog he deserves, if he deserves, he's the best dog there, he deserves to
Right.
win. When you start adding pedigree to it, and the pedigree doesn't match the dog, meaning sugar bear bred to Davidson's Jaguar, or whatever that case, if you can't track that pedigree to a point to where you understand and you can physically research what's behind that dog
Hmm.
and you can come forward. But a pedigree is useless if you can't figure out who the dogs are in the pedigree.
Right.
Um, I received a pedigree today, and the top was nice, right? The bottom, oh Lord, have mercy, Jesus.
You know,
And,
it's always a sire that's stacked.
you know, that's interesting that you say that too, right? Um, Me personally, I believe it's the female. I believe
Why is
yes,
that?
we
Why the female should be more? I know the answer, but again, a lot of our viewers don't. Why do you think that the female should be most revered and stacked than the male? Explain that.
the female is the one who has the litter of puppies. The female is the one who has the eggs who have to be the sperm has to inseminate. The female is the one who's around the raising of the puppies. The female is the one in which you can go to the moon to breed to the right male for her. A stud dog, you have to find bitches for him to be bred to. You can be perfect and there are no bitches at the time that your male fits. But you don't have to be perfect as a female to go pick and choose which males are going to help that female be a better female in character and temperament and in structure. A lot of people see males and they go, because we're human minds, we look at them like they're the king of the jungle, right?
Right.
But behind every good male, there's some stacked females. Um, Today, you don't see many IGP3 females. Back in the day, there weren't only just shoots and three, they were scoring 300s. So,
That's a perfect score, bro.
yeah, and they were getting it. Matter of fact, they're going to laugh when I say it. The females today are a lot weaker than the females in the war back in the day.
I'll agree to that. My boy Dale, who's been dealing with the Genix Wu-Tang bloodline for many years, and I think he may still have a few.
Hmm.
His female, and you've seen her on TV. You remember that movie called Transformers, the first one that came out with Shia LaBeouf on it,
Hmm.
where he was being chased by that Rottweiler?
Hmm.
That was a female. That was Sadie.
Did you
She's
see what she
a
looked like?
yeah. She looked like a male.
And that's a look.
She's
That's
heavy.
crazy.
She's heavy look. I love females that look heavy. I'm not talking about literally heavy, but you wouldn't know that they're a female unless you look like, where the balls? Where the dick at?
And that's funny that you say that because there's no portion in the standard that says it should look different
Right.
than the male, other than the fact, right, that they should have the height. Now, some people are going to disagree with that, but when it says medium, large, compact, it doesn't say female slab-sided, male compact. It doesn't say the female shouldn't have bone. It doesn't say she should have dark mouth. It doesn't say she should have good skull cap. It doesn't say she should have, it's the same. It's just the size, the
I got
height.
I got one for you. I'm gonna put some names on this one because he's my guy,
Right.
and he's not gonna take this in a negative way because he's got a hell of a dog.
Hmm.
Kristen is a canine trainer out here, very, very known trainer. He started off with Oscar Morris. Shout out to Elevated Canine.
Yes, sir.
Kristen has a Rottweiler. This Rottweiler is a level 3 IGP dog. Like, he's fucking serious.
Hmm.
The one issue I have with any Rottweiler, and more specifically, we're talking about his, he's very small. And I'm not talking about just in girth. He's fucking short, man. Like, he's short and not even thick, but he will eat your ass up. Would you consider that? Because now we're talking about the intangible part. Like he's got what it takes up in here, and he show a level of intelligence. And you know, and I know
Yeah.
intelligence is in the DNA. Dog
Yes,
ain't.
sir.
If either dog is he can is it, if the dog is a quick learner, he's a quick learner. If he's dumb, he's
Yes.
fucking dumb,
Period.
right? But
Period.
this dog is like national level type shit. Would you consider that a good stud? That he's lacking the physical aspect, even though you say medium large.
Check this out. My mantra is Von Himmel Rottweilers where work and confirmation are one and the same. When you step out the boundaries, mean breed type and size, your DNA, your swab says you're a Rottweiler. You work though, it, Rottweilers are supposed to work like Rottweilers. German Shepherds are supposed to work like German Shepherds. Malinois are supposed to work like Malinois. Pit Bulls are supposed to work like Pit Bulls. Great Danes are supposed to work like Great Danes. And the reason that the standard is there is because of the people who came in and they had their endpoint on it. Let's take the Rottweiler, for example. You had herders. And I posted on my page the other day a AI generated picture of the Romans and Rottweilers with them. We all kind of know the history of the Rottweilers being with them, right? But I told people, I said, look at the terrain that they're in, the endurance that they had to have, the feet they had to have, et cetera, right? I said, now you jump over to somebody and people are saying, but he's a herder too.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they were migrating from area to area, had to have some type of herding instinct to keep them in line, but you always had that border collie, Australian shepherd, and so forth, truly working the sheep. But
Right.
that dog was there to do what? To protect.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the military. Then you had the police. Everybody came together and they said, okay, just because you have that terrain, 68 centimeters is a little bit too big. Okay, you do herding, 62 centimeters is a little too small. Oh, you do carting. And they came together and they said the correct ideal size is 65 and a half to 66. Therefore, we know that he can do all of it and all of it well, and the mental and heart too.
Well, let me
So,
get this question in because we're it's getting dark where you are.
yeah, I haven't cut the line on. I can talk to
Uh,
you all day. You know that.
no. Let me ask you, so Joe asked a question. Terry, I have a question.
Hmm.
A male can put away more puppies on the earth than a female. Isn't he just as important in the majority in the majority of the kennels? The male represents the program. Now that that's in America. Over there in Europe, the real breeders don't even own a stud. They
Nope.
outsource that shit. They have the bitches. This is the
Yeah.
only time
You
we
said,
can actually say the word bitch is when we're talking about dogs. Bitch.
bitch.
A bitch is a bitch. Listen,
Yep. Hmm.
the most of the breeders that I've known for almost 19 years,
Hmm.
they have the plethora of the best bitches in their
Yes.
kennel. They don't own not
Yes.
one fucking male. Over here, people can sell dogs based on the male. They don't give a fuck about, and that's how Kimbertal used to sell dogs. You know that
Yes.
they put the
Yes.
pictures of the fucking
Yes.
males up there. They buy these
Yes.
champion males, and that's the picture. You have
Yeah.
to request pictures of the female.
Right. Bro, I've seen the best looking, almost perfect stud dog produce shit and got bred to a variety of dogs. Didn't get no breed type. I've seen females.
Mm-hmm.
Lord have mercy, Jesus. When she come out, and I'm talking about from a well-known kennel,
Yeah.
well-known kennels. When she come out, you like, I thought I was finna see a queen.
Hmm.
And she produced that, and that. Again, I've seen very few males that um they can touch anything and produce themselves.
You know what?
Males give to the female, man.
You're right, and this is why. Well, I'm a stud guy. I have three male Dobies and one Rottie, right?
Wow, I didn't
Uh,
mean to. Nah,
yeah,
yeah,
so
but I'm glad you think like that, brother. For
I'm a stud
yeah,
guy, but
hmm
the reason why I put my boys through some kind of protection training because I want to see what can they take under pressure.
yes,
The
sir.
training you have to go through in order to get an IGP or ring sport or any entry level, even PSA,
Yes, sir.
a PDC, dog got to take some kind of pressure. Some dogs are not designed to
Yep.
take pressure, right? So that's
Yep.
why I do that. But my point is, my boys not only have to prove themselves on the field,
Yes, sir.
they got to prove themselves off the field. You know what I'm
Yes, sir.
talking about. But for the people who
Y-
don't, is that I have to be it because I'm a stud guy. I have to be able to breed, and I don't breed to every female, but I have to breed to quality bitches. Man, I'm glad I get to say that word when nobody's tripping. I got to breed to quality bitches
Right. Right.
and still be able to produce a very nice litter. Right now, my boy is proven that he can put out good shit. Now, imagine if I put him to a bona fide quality bitches, then we really talking about a nice litter. So they have to be able to be prove themselves on and off the field. That's my whole point about that.
And you know what, brother? What should happen is that um, I noticed you said you didn't say the word, but you're choosing about who he's bred to.
Yeah.
Um, Not many breeders do that, and they have these stud dogs in America.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because
just
my
like
name's gonna be on it. My name's gonna be on it. And they're
yeah,
gonna know
yeah,
my
yeah,
dog before they know theirs.
exactly, exactly. And
Yeah.
and and the interesting thing that I see going on in the United States is they get a dog, and we're going to talk about both best of breed winning, specialty show winning AKC dogs, and we're going to talk about Seeger dogs, right? They get a dog, and they're not responsible enough to say no to that female.
Right.
The blood don't match. Um, I know he can do this, but you need that. That stud dog can give that to you.
Yeah.
Where I don't see a lot of stud dog owners doing that. I see a lot of stud dogs. They get that dog to the point, and they almost want the notoriety that comes with knocking off so many. And I get to say this, bitches, right?
Bitches. So let me ask you this
Yeah.
then, because I want to get everybody's questions in, the ones that are
hmm
relevant to the show. Sly
hmm
said, "Is it possible?" Now, this is a good question. This is a real good question. Is it possible to breed two good dogs and pass down? Is it possible that two good dogs passes down mostly the bad genes? I don't know about that. I'll let you chime in on that one. I think what he's trying to say is that you can have two great dogs and they still have a shitty. Two great dogs are very unlikely to have a whole shitty litter for the majority of them. Now, there's going to be one or two or three that ain't going to be up to par, but for the most
hmm
part, those three are still going to have that gene. They're going to have the DNA. What do you think about his question?
Um, it goes like with this. I've seen dogs where they have like let's just say four generation of OFA excellent hips, and I've seen them have, and the parents have OFA excellent hips, and I've seen that entire litter be dysplastic.
Mm, mm,
Um, my male was out of the number one male and one female in the country. He looked like them. Put a collar around his neck. He hit the ground. Put a nylon collar around his neck. I finished his championship.
mm.
So you can have two good dogs, but that don't mean they're going to produce.
Yeah.
Look around. See yeah, and I'm being very serious about it because see, people breed for one dog, knowing that you could have 5, 7, 9, 10. They're not breeding for consistency and character and temperament. There's no way you can because the way they're breeding, they're not doing the research. They're putting two winners together. Did you hear the question? Two
Mhm.
good dogs. What about his siblings? What about his mama, his daddy, his grandparents? What about those dogs? They all have a play to do, whether that
Mhm.
dog looks good or not. Um,
Mhm.
then there are some lines that just don't go well together
Yeah.
at all, at all. But that's up to us. We don't study enough. Um, again, we get a winner. We want to breed to the winner right away.
Mhm.
I remember when people was passing on breedings, the female be almost 4 years old. Not that one. I
Mhm.
ain't seen the dog yet. And then you would be shocked because sometimes it wouldn't be the dog that you would expect. Matter of fact, he would look like she did, if not lesser. But the puppies, because she did her research, she got the ultimate out of that breeding. We're just breeding for one dog. And in the back of our minds, we also do this to show people swear up and down because of the handlers that the entire letter is show quality.
Right.
I would rather have a litter that all the dogs were strong in character and temperament than I would all the dogs look good.
Hmm.
Because for our breed, that's number one.
Terry, we can sit down. We can do this all day. I love talking
Y-
about dogs. I ain't gonna lie to you. Dogs give me joy. They give me happiness. They give me peace. That's why when I clean up dog shit, I do it with a smile because I know they're giving me something back. I'll be honest with you. I never complain about.
No,
Think about it.
right.
Real people who love their dogs, they don't complain about picking up dog shit.
Barking,
No.
stuff getting tore up. Now you better get your butt over there. Yeah, go buy
Yeah,
another one.
we don't complain because
Yes, sir.
what we get in return is far greater than us doing manual labor. It's no different than people getting goddamn goldfish and they just the fish do. You got to clean that goddamn water tank out.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to say,
yeah,
man, I appreciate you coming on to this show, man. We got to do this again in about another week or two. I want to bring you
yeah.
back, and this time when I bring you back, let's have a topic you want to expound on because I have so many questions. I was all over the place because I had so
Nah,
many
brother.
questions.
Nah, brother. I understand. I'm in the process of some guys working with me. I'm doing a book, and it's a lot of chapters to it. There's a lot of things to breeding good dogs, breeding good Rottweilers, Doberman Pinschers, Pressers. Um, there's you can touch on a little bitty thing and it wind up being a big thing
Hmm.
because it, it's that much that comes into being the best breeder you can be, the best handler you can be, the best pet owner that you can be. Is you always have to be learning,
Yeah.
um, and that's where I'm at with it.
Hey, people, if you guys want to follow Terry, TC, Corn, T Corn,
Come
if you
on,
want
man.
to, because I wanted to ask you a question like, why is Vom in a lot of these Rottie's kennel name? But we'll talk about that later.
Yes, sir.
If you want to follow Terry on Instagram, go to Von Himmel Rottweilers. That's his Instagram handle. And if you want to follow him on Facebook, and he does have a Facebook page, it's called Von Himmel Rottweilers. You guys can follow Terry, ask him questions. And he's already talking about having a litter, so you better get your ass on that waiting list. So, so, and again, Terry, I appreciate you taking the time out to talk with me, man. Like I say, man, I think you're one of the hidden gems that people in the Rottweiler world, they know you, right?
Mhm,
But these
mhm.
new generation cats need to know and learn from you as well, and that's why I brought you on. I
Thank
always
you.
say, man, I always tell people at the end before I end my show, I says, be resilient, but be responsible. Until
Yes, sir.
next time, see you again.
Yes, sir.
All
Thank
right,
you, brother. I appreciate you having me.
no problem.